The decision isn't finished when the meeting ends, because that's when the real work starts. A leadership team can walk out of a meeting fully aligned and still lose decision clarity and momentum only 2 weeks later. And I know that sounds strange until you watch what happens after the decision leaves the room. Finance hears margin pressure, sales hears urgency, operations hears capacity risk, and people leaders are worried about workload and retention. No one is trying to sabotage the strategy. What they're trying to do is translate it through the pressure that they feel and carry every single day. It's just normal ways that we all think and react. And that's the problem, because most leaders think that the hard part is actually making the call. And actually, I don't think that's true. I think the hardest part is building the decision pathways that keeps the original intent intact long after you've made that decision. Because good decisions aren't proven by agreement. That's easy. It's proven by what still holds true 30, 60, and 90 days later. So here's a practical test. Take one important initiative that your organization has already approved and ask 4 questions. Who owns the decision right now? What part of the intent can't change? And what can flex without messing up the strategy? And then what condition, just one, would force a reset? And if those answers aren't clear, my friend, you do not have a communication or a commitment problem. You have a decision durability issue. And that's where that execution friction starts to look like a people problem or a productivity problem or a commitment problem, when the real issue is further upstream. The decision was made, but the system and the people carrying it aren't strong enough to preserve it. And this is why I care so much about pressure testing decisions before you move it to the business. And it's not to slow you down, it's to keep the momentum from fading after everyone has already said yes. So, your micro action for this week is to pick one current initiative and write down those 4 answers. And if you can't answer those questions in 5 minutes, your decision is already at risk. Because every executive has had this moment. The strategy's right, the team is capable, and the meeting sounds aligned. Yet somehow, that work is still off track. That's not a motivation problem. It's a clarity, execution, system, or risk problem. And CWC's Signal Snapshot helps you pressure test one problem slowing momentum right now. So you bring us one unresolved decision, a stalled initiative, or recurring escalation issue, and we will find those barriers. Where is clarity breaking down? Where is execution getting stuck? Where is the system creating friction? And then where is risk being absorbed either too late or by the wrong person? And what you get are practical next steps that you can use right away to get that work back on track. Not theory, not a giant assessment, a focused read on real business problem and the decision pathways that you need to change it next. So look at your calendar. How many meetings have you had or do you have scheduled for the week that you've already discussed 7 times? That is your decision point. So if something important is slower than it should, then start there and then take that signal snapshot today by clicking the link in this post. I'm Tammy Alvarez, the founder of CWC, and we help business leaders make decisions with clarity and quickness that your business needs to thrive. We look forward to helping you.